protein rich. That will be an issue, and we are going to ask ourselves why later. Yes, Paul?
I think my question is along the same lines.
Yeah.
The first question for me is, is this study advantageous? Well, if I'm thinking about justice, for instance, I would like to know if this population receiving the government food anyway, or are they lacking supplies? And this study is going to ensure that at least everybody gets something. And then number two, let's forget the label of the protein rich. What do we know the details of the ingredients in the food? Maybe it has 100% protein, it doesn't have any vitamins, it doesn't have any carbohydrates. How does it compare to the government food first on paper before we start talking about the effect we're going to see on human beings? So I have a few more questions.
Yes. So as a reviewer, that's what you'd ask. As a reviewer, you'd say, oh, okay, protein rich, but what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? So I need a hand policeman. They're going up like a forest fire, and I don't want people to feel that I've known them for too long, but I think you are next.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost the same question, because if it is a government kind of porridge, most probably it has been tested before. I think it's only just to see if they can get maybe a small amount of a new component compared to maybe that government product, but at least do we know that that government product already has been, is it something which is enough? Yeah.
Okay. So as a reviewer, you ask that question. So what was in the government product? And at the end of the day, after you ask all of these questions, we will say that they have done due diligence. By the time they've come, people have checked the protein-rich one, they've checked the government one, and despite all of this, they still feel they need to do this study. So by that time, we're assuming that by the time you've come, you are, there's a reason why you're doing this study, and you've done your due diligence. But those are good questions. Yes.
Thank you. I want to ask on the age now, because out of the 600, some could be beyond 12. And the consent is given by the mothers and the caregivers.
Yes.
If one was above 12, and that one maybe say, no, I should be consulting myself, I shouldn't give consent, or we still depend on the mother or caregiver.
If you're beyond 12, then you depend on both of them. Both mother and child have to say yes. So you have somebody who's over 12, you assent them. You don't consent them. They are not old enough to give their own consent. Their brains are not matured. They might be saying no because they want to go and play. Okay? You understand? Because that's the age of their development. But at the same time, you want to ask them whether they'd be interested to be in the study. So you can't do assent for those ones over 12. You certainly can. But you can imagine you're talking about food in an IDP, sometimes the answer will be yes. Yeah, sometimes all answers will be yes. But you'll have done due diligence, there might be some children who will say no. And the rule is if the child says no and the mother says yes, the answer is still no. If the mother says no and the child says yes, the answer is still no. For assent and consent to work together, they both have to be yes, yes. Okay? So of course, in the end, the mother will give the child a hot slap and then the child will change their answer. But again, that's reality. So then Anna, then somebody else, was it you, Matthew? Or it was Eli?
Yeah.
Okay, let me take Anna and Eli.
So two things. One, has there been a problem with the government supplied porridge that now there is need to introduce something else? And secondly, I would want to know who is funding this project, because if it's to ensure that there is no conflict.
Yeah, because it may be the person who wants to supply the product that is funding it. So you can be sure that's already some huge conflict of interest. And we've actually done this kind of studies at Cambridge. And one of those products were called plum peanut. Plum peanut, yeah? Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yes, and it came before us, and these were precisely the questions we were asking. Yeah, these were precisely. And I'll tell you what happened in the study in the end. It's good to have good type stories. Okay, Eli?
No, financial questions about who's
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and I would also want to know, like, if there was a plan partway through, if they're finding results that one is much better than the other, would this population be able to receive the benefit of that? And would would there be a chance that the study would be stopped at a certain point and that?
So they do an interim analysis and they actually find that, oh, plumping nut is fantastic. Yeah, then you can stop. And then do what after you stop? Give everybody plumping nut. Do you charge them? You had to talk about beneficence. You see how beneficence is tricky? You see how beneficence is tricky? Everything on paper sounds so good until you try to apply it, and it gets so murky. So Bramwell, and then I saw somebody else's hand, Prime Minister. Bramwell, then Prime Minister.
I'd also ask how the two products compare in terms of availability and cost. Because then even if this one proves to be better and it's an academic exercise, they can't buy it. So,
yeah. So what? Excellent. And then Prime Minister?
There is an issue of human sample and tissue for the blood drawing.
The blood draws.
So I will focus more now. They are going to handle that process.
Yes, I wonder what they were looking for. The scientists in the room and the doctors in the room. When they were drawing the blood, what do you think the blood was going to show? But they wouldn't see their very eyes. Like, BMI, like weight gain, like this circumference, all those circumferences, yes.
biochemical parameters for nutritional status.
Like what?
Albumin, for example, I would assume.
So when you start like that, that is when now you hear that it's so, you cannot beat in Kenya, and that's how samples live back. Yeah. For nutrition things, it's very difficult. If they do it in this country, it's very expensive. I mean, not everybody's doing it. Have you ever tried to take your child to find out what allergies they have? It's ridiculous. You can buy a plot with the money they're asking. Yeah. Because there are too few people trying asking for those things, so we don't have those machines that would make it efficient. And so, off it goes to South Africa, off it goes to Netherlands. Yeah. So that's how come now. When you see now the blood draw, I can almost tell, because I've been doing this for very many years. I know. Okay. Because I know the story, but I also know when I see some studies, I know very soon I'm going to be told that samples have to go out. Okay? Eli, was it your again or you ready?
I think you moved on.
Yeah. Okay. So those are some of our ethical concerns. So now that we've said all of these things, we've just reviewed a proposal. You see how easy it is? Okay. Nami says that she's blamed of saying things are easy, that they're not easy. But you see how easy it is? What have we asked ourselves? We've just said, where is it happening? Who is funding it? Are you sure? For example, the story about the Uji, somebody asked me about how bad is the Uji or how good is the pumpkin. That story, what section of the informed consent would that come? Of the protocol would that come? Where would you expect to get that information when you're reviewing?
About whether the UG has been effective.
Whether what's in the Uji, what's in the government Uji, what's in the pumpkin nut.
Maybe in the literature review background.
Oh, yes. So you expect to find that information in the literature review or the background, yeah? So that you can make a determination whether or not there's any point in this study. Now, the whole issue now of the post-trial access, are they going to get the pumpkin nut if the pumpkin nut is better? If you have an interim analysis and you find it's doing better, are you going to stop it and then give it, and who's going to do it? Now that we've asked all of these questions, would you approve this study?
If they can answer them satisfactorily, then so they're given a chance. Okay, this one we've not reviewed yet, but I think you'd go through the answers that are already there in the document that may explain, and give them an opportunity to defend if need be.
Okay.
And if it's found satisfactory, then yeah. If not, then.
Okay, so let me say the PI, and I say no, we didn't have a budget to give everybody compliments. Yeah. So we are hoping to ask Bill and Melinda Gates to give us money to supply these compliments. So that's how I'm responding as the PI. Then you've asked me about the UG. Is the UG available? I'll say yes, the UG is available all the time. And we are actually just going to be there to compare it. You asked me what is in the pumpkin nut. I'll tell you the pumpkin nut has think it had coconut, it had pumpkin, maybe I don't one of these, so I'll explain to you all of that. What else did you ask me? About who's funding? A very Christian, very honest and very full of integrity. And you know, it's all Christian based church event. These are good people.
They don't sell pumpkin.
And they don't sell pumpkin. That's why I moved it. They don't sell pumpkin. But the people created pumpkin kind of asked them to see if it would work so that they can decide whether or not. What is it going to cost after the fact is found to be true? It will cost about, I like to say it in American cents, so you have to do the calculations. Maybe 10 American cents per survey. How long do they have to take it? They'll have to take it maybe for 6 months before they get. Who will pay for those 10 American cents, or they'll ask somebody else to see if they can pay for those 10 American cents. So I've answered you.
So it's sustainable.
Still unhappy. This end is coming. So is it sustainable? We hope so. We can't see the future. So we'll continue looking for money.
So we are creating another problem.
Eh?
If we are not doing something, we are creating another problem because after we have made sure that what's given by the government is not working, then we are going to shift those guys into the government problem.
Okay. So are we approving?
Yeah, the radical and say, you know what? Now go back and do a study of the Uji we are giving on all those parameters. Show us that there is a problem with that.
No, they did. I mean, I told you that they've done it, and you know, the issue with the one from the government is that the government is also relying on other people to constitute it and to bring it, and sometimes they don't. It's not very available all the time.
But it
the
works.
Uji one is based. It works. It works, but it works minimally because it's not always available.
Then I would decline approval.
Yes.
I would say, I would like to know if they are willing to share the formula with someone like maybe the government who has more resources and can make more.